welcome to our new series of teacher training videos. My name is Meredith.
And my name is Coley.
And we are the education team here at the Children's Museum of New Hampshire. And we're so excited to offer this new resource to teachers, and we hope you love it. So our goal for this series of workshops is to introduce you to some project-based learning that you will not need to buy any extra supplies for. Because a lot of the feedback we hear from teachers is, we love the stuff you do at the museum, the project-based learning things you do are awesome, but I don't want to go out and buy foam tubing and wires and all of these things that you have access to there. I can't get it in my classroom. So our goal in this series of 4 videos is to show you easy activities that you can do with things we know that you already have. So the first activity that we're doing in this series is some theater-inspired science movement. So I have 2 activities to share with you today. The first is about states of matter, and the second is about circuits. So let's get started. So our states of matter activity is showing students the 3 basic states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas, and then showing you a way that you can get your students up and moving around to understand these concepts. So I think theater-inspired movement is a great way to get students up and moving, learning in a different way. It's great for the people that learn better on their feet rather than doing a worksheet or watching a video. Those very physical people that really work well that way. I'm one of those people, personally. Are you one of those people?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah. I know I work better if I've moved my body to figure out how something works. So for states of matter, I would start with explaining to your students really simple basics about states of matter. For example, a solid. So you say, what's a solid? Oh, it's something like a table or a chair or a rock. And you say, okay, so that's made up of atoms and molecules. How do you think they move? And the students are going to say, but well, I don't think they do move. And you say, well, you're kind of right there, because they do tend to stick together. So the atoms and molecules in a solid stick together and they don't move much. It takes a lot of work to get a solid to change its shape. So you need something like heat or pressure to really get it to change its shape. So you can say, oh, they just stick together in one group. Then you get up and move. So we have our pretend classroom here today, and here are the students. So the students are some of our favorite tools here at the museum, some polar bears. So you say, okay, let's act out a solid. So what you would do is get all of your students to stand really, really close together so that they are one big group and they're not moving much. And so that is how you would act out a solid. If they were each a tiny atom or molecule, that's what they would look like as a solid. Okay, so then you can explain, that student fell over. So then you can explain a liquid. So a liquid, obviously, they're going to be familiar with. It's something like water or juice or milk, and you can say a liquid can change its shape, but it still has to stick together. So you can say, how many of you poured water out this morning? And they're like, oh yeah, I did. So you say you poured water from a pitcher or the sink into a cup. So it changed its shape from a pitcher to the shape of a cup. It takes the shape of whatever container it's in. So you can invite students to act out a liquid. Those atoms and molecules can move, but they have to all stay together. So what you can do is choose a designated space in your classroom, like a rug, that's what we're pretending this is. Or you can even say, okay, this corner or this taped out square on the floor is where you can move as a liquid. So the students can move around, and they can move all around on the designated space, but they can't leave that space, because as soon as it leaves the space, chaos. So
and if they wanted to, they could wiggle their arms to be a liquid, because that's sort of like,
yeah,
I'm a liquid now.
Yeah, showing how that moves and how that liquid can work. So the last one is a gas. So your students are in their liquid formation, and you say a gas is, something like air, yeah, or helium in a balloon. They'll know that. And you say a gas fills up whatever space it's in. So if obviously the room is full of air, we can't see it, but we know it's there. If I opened a container of vinegar, eventually it would smell like vinegar in here because it slowly lets a gas out, and the whole room would smell like vinegar, and I'd be able to smell it. So a gas takes up whatever space it's in. So for this, your students get to fill in every single corner of your classroom, and they can move all around. If you wanted, you could open the door to the hallway and they could move out there too, because they can fill whatever space they're given, and they're moving around this whole time. Our subjects are not live, so they cannot move. So they're moving around the whole time. You can also, if you don't want them up and moving around so much and you want to make this really quick, you can have them do this just with their hands. So you say, act out a solid with your hands. Okay. Act out a liquid. The atoms and molecules stay together, but they can move. And then make sure you have space. Act out a gas. You can move all over the place. So that is how to act out states of matter, and we'll have a link for you all to visit to get this lesson plan written down, or you can come back and watch the polar bears anytime you want. And that is our states of matter movement. So the next one is about circuits. So we love circuits at the museum, and a great way to introduce your students to circuits is having them act out a circuit. So this one I feel like does need a bit more of an introduction, because if you're going to a group of kids and saying, we're gonna act out circuits, they're like, what's a circuit? I don't know what that is. So you can, I think it needs a little bit of an introduction. So you say, okay, and we'll have this written up for you too, but if I was teaching Coley, I'd say, we're gonna talk about circuits today. Circuit is a circle. It's a continuous flow of energy. There are a few things I need to make my circuit work. I need a power source, something to give it energy, like electricity or a battery. And then I need something to, a goal, something that I want to work. So that could be a light bulb or a fan or something else that needs electricity, a toaster oven. You know, I need something that I want to work. So I have my power source, I have something that I want to work, and then I need to connect them. I'm going to connect them to kind of make a circle. A circuit is a circle. And you can have them say that 5 times fast. So, so to act out a circuit, what we do is we give the kids little tags that they can put on. So you could be a light, you need 2 wires, and you need a battery. So I'm going to be a light. What are you going to be?
I'll be a wire.
Okay. So you need groups of 4 or so, and each student gets a job, and you can say, okay, how do you show me that you're a battery? You need 2 points for the wires to attach to. Okay. And how are you going to be a wire? Oh, you need something to clip on to the battery. How am I going to be a light bulb? Oh, here I am. I'm a light bulb. And then, okay, now design a circuit that works. So we have battery, the wires linking on, always a wire. And then I'm a light bulb, and I have the wires linking onto me. And then if I work, I'm a light bulb, I'm working. Say something gets crisscrossed. I don't work. So this is a great way to get them up and acting it out, because then if you do some kind of project where they're making circuits, you can say, okay, when we acted it out, what did you need to place on the battery, and how did that need to be connected, and how did the light bulb need to be connected? And it just, again, for those learners that work best on their feet, this is a great way to introduce the subject to them. And then you can challenge them to make a circuit that doesn't work, that would never work. You have crisscrossing wires, you have, an upside down light bulb, whatever they want to do. And you can have them combine with another group and say, build a bigger circuit. How could you make this work with 2 light bulbs? How would you make it work? And there's a lot of extensions I feel like you can do with this, and with circuits in general. There's just a lot to be learned there.
I've had the groups for this one, so they're in sets of 4, but then I've scrambled them and said, okay, everybody move around the room.
Yeah.
And now you have to be the first to find a full, complete circuit. So most kids will just go to their friends.
Yeah.
So they have to actually form a circuit and be the first group to form it. So then it's like a little contest.
Oh, that's fun. Then what we do at the museum is we build circuits. This is going to need a little bit of supplies, but I thought I would show you, and we'll link a description of how to do it in your the packet that we'll send out. We make circuits with tin foil, and we strip little holiday lights just on the end so the copper wire shows. So these are your wires, much less expensive than, it's not they ran into the tripod. So much more affordable than actual wires. It's just tin foil. This is a Christmas light. If you get these on sale at the end of the season, they cost nothing. And you could potentially have 1 or 2 batteries for your whole class.
Yes.
So you build a circuit that, so I have my light touching the wires, just like we did with acting it out. I have a spot for my power source. In this case, it's my battery. I have my wires. I decorated it to look like a little house. And then when I touch my battery down, ta-da! So this is what we do at the museum. We do the theater circuits, and then we build circuits. You wouldn't need to, but it's certainly an exciting activity to have added on. And it really is not expensive at all for a roll of foil and a thing of lights and 2 batteries. It wouldn't be too expensive.
Yeah, and this is something that would also be good to do with an after-school program or a camp or an out-of-school time where you have a lot of time for them to experiment.
Right, because they do get really into it.
Yeah, they do, and it can take some troubleshooting.
Yeah.
So if you have extra people who can help you.
So it's a great lesson
troubleshoot
on
and
perseverance.
Yeah, problem solving.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us for this first video of our series of teacher trainings. I had a great time talking theater with all of you. And next week, Coley, what are you talking about next week?
I'm going to be talking about some games and activities you can do related to animal adaptations.
So we hope you'll join us for that one as well. Thanks so much.